探したぞ。リック WTM72。我ら忍者リックにとっての魂、将軍モーティをさらうとはお主もとんだ知れ者ぞ。そのモーティはうぬごときが連れていいモーティではない。おとなしく返せ。さすれば楽に死なせて。貴様、
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. This is going to be my new Rick and Morty Season 4 bonus episode breakdown. Some of you may have been confused when you saw this. What's going on? Is this supposed to be from Rick and Morty Season 4 Episode 6? Is this another April Fool's Day prank episode? There's a whole bunch of Easter eggs for a lot of anime series, including Naruto when he goes full Rinnegan, and some really classic samurai films from the Lone Wolf and Cub series, so we'll break it all down. There's a new round of that Rick and Morty giveaway too. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave your favorite moment from this short episode on the video. The story of where this short episode came from is actually pretty fascinating too, because you'll notice that Studio Dean is all over the credits. They're a Japanese anime studio if you don't watch a lot of anime. Jason DeMarco, who's one of the programmers at Adult Swim and the co-creator of Toonami, said that they had been working on this with Studio Dean for the past year, so it took them a year to make this 5-minute short episode. So it's sort of their April Fool's Day Rick and Morty episode for Toonami. They dropped it in the middle of a Sword Art Online Toonami episode with no warning at all. It just appeared in the middle of the episode. So a lot of people were instantly confused, not recognizing the Lone Wolf and Cub references, thinking that it was actually meant to be an integration with Sword Art Online. The lead producer on it, Maki Terashima, is actually known for working on a lot of projects like Fooly Cooly Progressive, Fooly Cooly Alternative. He's working on the upcoming Uzumaki anime, which everyone is really excited about. And I saw in my timeline that some of you also correctly noticed that the people that were doing the voices for this are the official Japanese voiceover artists for regular Rick and Morty episodes. So if you watched Rick and Morty in Japan, this is the version of Rick that you would hear. He even does the burps during this too. So even though this is happening in an alternate reality, like he says Rick WTM 72, it's still very similar to what you would see C-137 Rick doing, which, next big Easter egg, we can say this is probably happening somewhere in the central finite curve, because the further out you get from the central finite curve, the more differences you start to see in Rick's and Morty's until they become unrecognizable. The reason why he's called WTM 72 Rick is because 1972 is when the first two Lone Wolf and Cub samurai films came out. Those were Lone Wolf and Cub, Sword of Vengeance, and then Lone Wolf and Cub, Baby Cart at the River Styx. If you haven't seen any of those, they're classics. I would definitely recommend checking them out. They've also done a manga series for it. They've also done an anime series for it. So there is a ton of Lone Wolf and Cub out there for you to check out. In fact, it was so popular back in the 70s and so influential that it's been referenced and ripped off by hundreds of other movies and TV shows since then. More recently, I've been doing videos for Star Wars The Mandalorian series on Disney+. They actually did a direct reference to Lone Wolf and Cub during The Mandalorian Episode 2 just a couple months ago. So Lone Wolf and Cub shows up all over the place, even in the Star Wars universe. But the plot of the Rick and Morty short episode basically plays out a little bit like the plot of the Lone Wolf and Cub films. The main character, referenced by Rick WTM72 here, is Ogami Ito. He's the executioner of the most powerful shogun, so he's responsible for going around to a bunch of lesser clans and enforcing the shogun's rules. Eventually, he and his wife have a baby that he names Daigoro, which is the cub character in this, played by the Morty that you see here in the little cart. One day he returns home to find his entire family, except for his baby son, has been murdered by a rival clan. The rival clan is trying to usurp the local power structure, so because Ito, or Samurai Rick in this case, is a very powerful figure in that power structure, they try to frame him for wrongly wanting to kill his shogun. So the title of this short episode is Samurai and Shogun Rick and Morty. All these other Ricks that are coming for him are the Shogun's men. But when they all portal in and say, "How dare you try to steal this Morty, he's our soul," that's the Rick and Morty people with Studio Dean going a little off book, just referencing a lot of other anime tropes. So it's not a literal copy and paste from the plot of Lone Wolf and Cub. There's just a lot of Lone Wolf and Cub stuff happening during this. When all the samurai blades come out of Morty's cart and start taking out all the other assassins, that's a reference to this scene from Lone Wolf and Cub when Ito is telling his son, you can choose the ball, you can choose to play and have fun and be a normal little kid, or you can choose the way of the sword, and I will teach you to be a samurai and seek revenge for your mother's death. It's super hardcore in the film because he tells his son, if you want to choose the ball, then I will send you to live with your mother. But remember, his mother has just been killed, so he's basically telling his son, if you don't choose to become a samurai and seek revenge for her death, you're also going to die too. Most of the kills that he performs during this when he's taking out all the Shogun's assassins are just referenced in the visual style of Lone Wolf and Cub, traditional Japanese samurai films with the way the blood sprays out after he decapitates them. When it gets super trippy and he starts having all the visions, that's when they start to do the Naruto references. He gets the Rinnegan. I don't really consider myself an expert on the Naruto anime or the manga, but when he gets gassed and has all these crazy visions and then comes out of it and takes down these other assassins, those are Genjutsu and Rinnegan references. If you're not a big Naruto fan or you're not a big fan of Japanese anime, Genjutsu is just another class, like a rogue class like ninjutsu. Genjutsu is just another one of those. A lot of their fighting ability is based around being able to create illusions, forcing people to see things that aren't really there. So the Naruto Genjutsu Ricks force Samurai Rick to see all these crazy visions. It seems like he goes on this crazy mind space trip, but then he gets the Rinnegan, comes out of it, and takes them down. So Rinnegan is this really powerful ability that people have within Naruto. It translates to Samsara Eye, Samsara being the Eastern philosophy concept for the cycle of death and rebirth. Samsara isn't originally a Japanese or Naruto exclusive concept. It's a broader Eastern concept with roots in Hinduism and Buddhism. Within the Naruto series, the Rinnegan is said to be this crazy godlike power that's said to be passed down from the heavens during times of disorder, and the person who gains it becomes this god of creation or potential god of destruction. One of the abilities the Rinnegan grants to different users is the ability to see through illusions, so that's how this version of Samurai Rick is able to see through these Genjutsu Rick's illusions and then get out of it. The Rinnegan ability goes way beyond that, but like I said, this short Rick and Morty episode is mostly meant to be a Lone Wolf and Cub reference, so just very light Naruto and other anime references. A lot of you also asking what's going on with the rest of the Season 4 episodes. When is Rick and Morty Season 4 episodes 6 through 10 going to air? Before the big virus outbreak and Hollywood was forced to shut down and just hit the pause button on all movies and television shows, my assumption was that they would start premiering the rest of the episodes during the summer. The good news in all this, though, is that a lot of animation can actually be worked on from people's homes. So a lot of animated series are still in production, even though most live-action series have paused completely. The only thing that they really can't do right now is do more voiceover recording with the actors, so they can't do a lot of retakes, which sometimes can cause problems for episodes. So worst case scenario, they probably just release the rest of the Rick and Morty episodes at the end of this year around November, just like they did the first half in 2019. Or if they get them done a little bit faster, maybe they'll be able to drop them all by the end of the summer. It's a really bad situation for the world right now, so if you wondered why a lot of TV shows have gone on break and aren't airing new episodes, that's mostly why. But if you spotted any other big anime references during the Rick and Morty Samurai episode, just write them below in the comments, and I'll name a giveaway winner the next time I post a Rick and Morty bonus video. Everyone click here for my Rick and Morty Season 4 Episode 6 trailer video and Easter eggs, and click here for that brand new Marvel Iron Man announcement. Thank you so much for watching. Everyone stay safe. I'll see you guys tonight.